Well, hello. It's the Brian Hornback podcast. This is episode number 15. Just so happens to be on January the 6th. You know what January the 6th is? And it's right now, I don't know what time it is. It's right now about 7 o'clock p.m. on January the 6th. What's happened in the last 24 hours? Well, Georgia had their runoff election for the U.S. Senate, very close race, and it appears that Warnock has won in the state of Georgia over Kelly Loeffler, and it appeared as of about 5 o'clock this afternoon that Ossoff has beat David Perdue in Georgia, which gives the Democrats the control of the U.S. Senate, the Congress, and the presidency. That was yesterday. And then today we had some folks thousands that went to Washington. I wasn't there. Before anybody starts assuming anything, I have work to do here. Not just a blogger, not just a podcaster. I have a real job. So I was here in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. But there were hundreds, thousands of folks at the Capitol. Apparently the president spoke to them, and they started heading toward the Capitol about the time that the Congress and the Senate were about to vote on the Electoral College. The objection from Arizona was filed. I watched that, so the Congress, the House, and the House of Representatives and the Senate parted ways. Senate went to the Senate chamber, House went to the House chamber. They proceeded to do their debate on the objection, and apparently hundreds, if not thousands, stormed the Capitol, and the Capitol Police. They were able to climb over the Capitol. They were able to break through the Capitol Police. They were able to get into apparently the Capitol, and apparently they were able to get into some congressional offices and whatnot. We have since learned that a female was shot inside the Capitol, and she has since passed away. So, that is the state of our country. Now, here I am in my 16th year as a blogger, now recording my 15th podcast. Been in politics since I was 16 years old. Seen a lot of stuff. How did we get here? It's not just the Republican Party's fault. It's not just the Democrat Party's fault. It's not just the conservatives, the moderates. It's not just Antifa. It's not just Black Lives Matter. It's also the media. The mainstream media. Every entity has some shared responsibility. Let's talk about the media first, because as a blogger, if the media had been doing their job 16 years ago, there wouldn't have been a need for Brian Hornback to get on a blog platform. If the media had been doing their job, I wouldn't have over 3 million page views last year. I wouldn't average 15,000 unique IP address visits every 30 days. So when back last year, whenever it was, that Antifa and Black Lives Matter started, and I think they're still, my understanding, they're still in Portland, Oregon, and all the damage they've done to those cities. The media didn't call that out. Let's go back to Nashville. Let's go close to home. You remember when there was riots going on in downtown Nashville, and windows were broken out of the city hall, and fires were being set inside the Davidson County Courthouse, the Nashville courthouse. Remember they imposed curfews in downtown Nashville. You know, you didn't see the media throw a lot of aspersions on that, but you know, you don't find the media, everything that the Democrats have said isn't always fact checked, like it is with the Republicans. And like I said, my side is just as guilty as the other side. You know, elections are elections. I've said it before in at least one of the 14 previous podcasts. You know, I get so involved in political campaigns at the beginning that that by the time election day comes, I'm done with it. I'm ready to move on. So I've been kind of done with this election since November, first part of November for the most part. You know, you've not seen me write, or you've not seen me write about some of the things that the president's talked about on the national election in November, just simply because they are what they are. You know what? We're going to, starting right now, I'm sure, campaigns are starting up for the midterm, which, you know, will be the 435 U.S. House of Representatives seats, and a third of the 100 seats in the Senate in 2022. And there'll be people that's already probably starting to make phone calls to start raising money, to start campaigning for that. And then 2 years after the midterm, guess what? We're back in another presidential election. So it's a continuing process. But hey, look, calm has been restored within a few hours today in D.C., it appears. Of course, the curfew helped a lot. 6 p.m. curfew. National Guard either is waiting to be deployed or will be deployed. Violence is not the answer, okay? I'm a firm believer in the First Amendment. Violence is not the answer. Our country, from the time that I was a young child in third, fourth grade, you know, we've always been told that's the people's house. Some of the stuff I watched this afternoon, I heard those people yelling, "That's my house, that's my house." We have a very simplistic view as a country because we believe that's our house. I mean, but facts of the matter is it's not. It's there's federal laws to protect my identity, your identity, for when we contact our elected representatives. And so that has to be honored. But, you know, I've been watching and I've been uncomfortable for years about some of these people who are elected. And I'm not talking necessarily about federal officials at this point. There's some state officials I could point to. There's even some local officials I can point to. But this hyper-partisanship has really brought us to where we're at. The spiking the ball 4 years ago when Trump won over Hillary. The spiking of the ball when Biden won. He's not my president. When Trump won, he's not my president. When Biden won, I don't think that's what the founding fathers envisioned. The fact of the matter is, we're one country. I may not agree with anything that Joseph Robinette Biden does as president. I didn't agree with everything that Donald J. Trump did or is going to do. But he's still my president. I didn't agree with a lot of what Obama did for 8 years. And I certainly didn't agree with a lot of some things that George W. Bush did. But they were still the president, okay? So that's kind of where we're at. It doesn't help when a congressman calls or contacts the local media back home and refers to shots fired. Those shots fired could have been the pepper gas bullets. We now know that there has been a casualty in the storming of the Capitol today, and that's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So I hope the things that I've said today resonate with you. I hope none of it really offends you. It's my opinion. It's First Amendment. Would love to hear from you if you disagree with me. Brian at brianhornback.com. As you know, my website is brianhornback.com. Social media, Twitter is at mega, MEGA _ Bullhorn, BULLHORN, or at Brian, BRIAN, Hornback, HORNBACK, all together. Brian at Brian Hornback, also on Twitter. Find me on YouTube, and find me on all the, what podcast platforms are we on right now? Apple, Spotify, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Breaker, and where I create and host these podcasts, Anchor FM. If you're listening to this on the podcast form, you probably hear an ad for Anchor FM. Also locally, let me encourage you that if you need tires or car repair, that you visit Matlock Tire Service. 5 locations to serve you in East Tennessee: Lenoir City, Maryville, Athens, Farragut, and the new one in Hardin Valley. The Farragut phone number is 865-966-0425. Also, my friend Lou Moran III for all your insurance needs, and he can write insurance at almost 3 dozen states across this country, and for your business. InterAgencyInsurance.com. It's inter, then the hyphen, agencyinsurance.com, or in Knoxville, 865-637-4519. And also for all your real estate needs, it's justhomesgroup.com. Julia Hurley, 865-237-7328. If you're looking to sell, buy, whatever, Julia Hurley will help you get it done. So, somewhat of a somber note here on the episode 15. Just wanted to share my thoughts with you. And I hope y'all have a great day. Transition of power is an interesting transition. And it is what it is, okay? So, y'all have a great night. And tomorrow will be a better day. We can't live in the past. We can only live in the present and in the future. So whatever you did today that